What's happening, guys? It is Logan Robinson from BucsGameday.com. I'm here with River Wells, our editor-in-chief at BG, and the Buccaneers, once again, a stressing one at the end of the game, but they pull off and beat the New York Jets 29-27 with a Chase McLaughlin game-winning field goal. Just craziness at the end of the game. You had a blocked punt that went for a touchdown for the New York Jets down actually in the opposite end zone over there. You had some crazy big-time plays being made from your rookie with Emeka Egbuka, and all across the board. What a roller coaster ride of a game. And Jamel Dean not only caught an interception, but took it back to the crib. River,
Yes,
take me through your thoughts on this game, man.
Yeah, the Bucs keep finding a way to win, right? They're 3-0. All three of them have come in last-second sort of contentious drives, which is good. And Tom Bowles mentioned you want to keep stacking wins early, right? And that's a big key in the beginning of the season while you're still working out the kinks, as he said. Good to see Jamel Dean get that turnover. I thought the defense played pretty well, except toward the end there because the offense was unable to get a lot going. Now, a little bit of that is definitely the offensive line having only 2 of their 5 starters and the other 2 being rearranged. But there's a lot the Bucs still need to work on, and they can't let this 3-0 start kind of shield them from that fact, right? Special teams has been a big problem for sure. It's been costly in all 3 games. The offense has to fire better. Play calling from Josh Gazar I thought was good at some points, and then some points just needed to trust Baker Mayfield and his receivers to do some mid-range deep shots there. So that's got to probably improve a little bit as well. And the Bucs got to really have that killer instinct on defense at the end of the game. They went up 23-6, let the Jets come back in it a little bit, and then special teams had that gap that let them take the lead. So there's still a lot to work on for this Bucs team, and the hope is that they know that and they make steps towards improving that instead of taking 3-0 at face value and not making a lot of steps to improve what they need to improve on.
I think one of the biggest things too as well that we need to point out, Mike Evans left the game with a hamstring injury too, so this was a limited offense.
You sound very static.
Yeah, it's
You sound very static.
It's static.
Very static.
Maybe
Not
you
really
speak.
better.
I'll come back in.
Sounds good. Yeah, so we'll just have to see how the Bucs respond to this. And they got a tough game against the Philadelphia Eagles coming up. They're going to need to be disciplined. A lot of penalties today. A little bit of that was, as Baker Mayfield said, ticky-tacky referee-wise. But I think a lot of those penalties were not too bad and understandable, given that holding from Elijah Klein and Luke Haggard, and you really have to be more disciplined in these situations. So this many penalties won't cut it, even if it is a crew that's a little bit flag happy. A lot of holding calls for sure. A lot of sort of discipline to kind of pick up and figure out. But outside of that, they have 3-0. They're gonna have to use this momentum to get better and become a really good team going forward as well, not just throughout these series.
The static is ridiculous.
You were still very static.
Yeah,
Logan's
you're static
out
for
here.
me.
Oh wait,
You're
keep
static
going.
for me.
You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
static.
You're
yeah,
good
we
now.
might be better. Maybe it's got to be because of the frequency and all the kind of radio spots going on right now near me. But
Yeah.
we're back. We're back. Like I was talking
We're
about
back.
earlier, the offense was already crazy limited. You're talking about the offensive line, which, as we could tell today, it was not pretty. It was not pretty for the most part. I know Baker Mayfield, when we just spoke with him, he gave them a lot of props and gave props to the offensive lines coach and said, they did the best practically that they could with a short amount of time and with the injuries that they've been dealing with. But it did not look good. They're really needing at least someone to come back, and that would be Tristan Wirfs, who's your leader there, your best offensive lineman, one of the best in the NFL. That would be a huge boost for them as well. And then, too, we saw Chris Godwin out here on the sidelines. He was celebrating with Emeka Egbuka after he made some big-time grabs. It's leaning towards where we're probably going to see these guys, I would imagine, going into next week. But it's been crazy for practically a rookie play caller with Josh Gazard to go through this much in such a short amount of time, River. It's impressive that they've been able to put up this many points.
For sure, and you're going to hope when those injuries are over and you got guys like Tristan Wirfs back, Chris Godwin back, you get Luke Gedeke back in the fold in Week 7 because he is on IR, that the offense will be able to open up their entire playbook and really just go forward and be able to score points at will with everything that they've planned for the beginning of the season. It's been hard to do that with so many injuries. Speaking of injuries, there is one big one that we should talk about. Mike Evans did leave with a hamstring injury. He was out for this game. Looked like he may have tweaked it, or potentially worse, he punched a cooler and was punching the ground, really upset. So it's unknown what his status is right now. Todd Bowles and the rest of the team is going to have to look at it, MRIs, get all those tests back if needed. And we'll know a little bit more about that tomorrow when we speak with Todd Bowles for media. But for right now, hopefully Mike Evans is doing all right and ends up being not so much of a big deal because they definitely do need him.
Yeah, they do. He scored a touchdown today as well. A couple of other people that got hurt in this game, a couple players. Christian Isian left the game with an injury. Levante David actually went down, but then came back into the game, I think, 1 or 2 plays later, which, man, if that would have happened, it would have just been it would have been ridiculous for Bucs in the injury-prone area right now. And then going over to, I believe it was Logan Hall that got injured as well in this game. And, talking about thinning out in some areas, man, defensive line is another one after you lost Kalijah Cansey with practically a season regular, at least regular season injury, ending injury. But also, too, we did have an update, River, today. I think it was Adam Schefter saying that, if the Bucs were to get a win in the playoffs, there could be a chance that Kalijah Cansey could come back eventually. But, man, this team is just dealing with things all across the board on the injury side.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, right behind you.
Yeah, and Kalijah Cansey being back would be huge, but you got to remember that Chris Godwin had a very similar sort of diagnostic. So at that point, you just got to hope that they're able to get that back. Penalties were insane today. Yes, they were. They were quite crazy, and I think it's definitely a combination of the referees being a little bit flag happy, but also the Buccaneers need more discipline. The Buccaneers need more discipline in that area, and they're going to try and fix that. But with these injuries mounting, they got a tough one against the Philadelphia Eagles next week, but they're 3-0. They stack those early wins. They have a little bit of breathing room in the division, especially because the Falcons lost today. So both the Falcons and Panthers are 1-2. If the Saints lose, I don't know what the score is right now. I can't see any scoreboards, but they're playing the Seahawks right now. If they were to lose that game, they'd be 0-3, and the Bucs have a huge lead in the NFC South already.
Yes. I was going to say a lot of crazy endings all across the NFL. A lot of game-winning field goals. You had a huge play there for the Eagles to beat the Rams, where the Rams looked like they were putting that away early, but no, they allowed the Eagles to come back and score, have that block kick. You had Jordan Davis take it all the way back for a touchdown. Just insanity in that 1 p.m. window, and it sure as hell happened down here in Tampa when we thought all along going into the little bit of the latter half of fourth quarter that this was going to be over. The Bucs would put this away and that would be it. But
never the case.
No, never. And, Baker Mayfield making some big runs as well in this game. He continues to impress me with how shifty he is, athletic. I mean, he put some serious moves on some guys today. He had a funny answer. Someone on the reporting side asked at the press conference, do you take any dancing lessons, getting into the cha-cha slide? Like, what's going on with you, Baker? And he laughed at that question and said, I don't have any time to do any dancing classes, but today, I mean, he put some moves and danced around some defenders, and you don't think of Baker in that way going into games as much. You kind of look at what he does as a threat with his arm, but he sure can keep drives going with his legs, and he's done that for practically 3 weeks in a row.
He did. I mean, that scramble of 33 yards was his longest since his rookie year. So Baker's moving, man. He's running, always really gritty. He's been playing some great football, and I think the rest of the team's got to kind of match that intensity and that killer instinct for the rest of the season if they want this start to be the makings of an actual contender and not, a fall off towards the end of the year. So still a lot of work for the Bucs to do. But as they mentioned today, Case McClellan mentioned this, Todd Bowles mentioned this, any way you win is a great way to win. So they're 3-0, they're stacking wins early. They're finding ways to win, but now they got to find that killer instinct and be able to really beat a team definitively and not kind of let them hang around like they did.
Yep, it's going to be really intriguing as the Bucs are now 3-0. The Eagles 3-0. It's going to be a 1 p.m. showdown here in Raymond James Stadium. We'll have full coverage for you guys on that. We'll also have a podcast for you guys later this upcoming week on Wednesday evening between River and Caleb, who do a fantastic job of recapping a little bit of practice throughout the week and then jumping into a preview, which is going to be an incredible atmosphere, I do think, here in Tampa and Raymond James. But I think that's going to do it for us on our instant reaction between the Bucs and the Jets. Tampa Bay 3-0 to begin the season. Todd
Undefeated.
Bowles undefeated, man, undefeated. But yes, that's going to do it. We will give you guys updates too as well on Mike Evans. Make sure you guys go jump over to BucsGameday.com. We'll have full updates all throughout the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of y'all's weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.
Are the Cannons.